Hi everyone, my name's Search Donkey and today we're back reviewing another game. Uh, Today is kind of not a full game, so it might be a slightly shorter review. It's more kind of a focused feedback. So it's a platform game, it's kind of pretty low on the description and stuff. It is pretty simple, but it's kind of, what I take it to be is working on the fine details first before like moving on. So anyway, looking for some feedback on the character controls. So that's specifically what we're going to be looking at in this this video. So really just on the controls and how not just the controls but the player moves and feels, because it can be funny things like that that really you don't get when you're making the game. It seems fine and then you get someone to play it and they think, this doesn't feel natural. So no, controls pretty simple, and yeah, checkpoint is pretty simple as well. Basically just so you can test it. Saving game at the top there, lovely. One thing I would do, just if we're going really on controls, is I would offer an alternative control system. Only because, like me personally, I prefer to use WSD and space. And if you're really focusing on controls, that's something to think about. Definitely. I think, first off, the bounding box, I don't know if that's what you call it in Game Maker 2 now. It feels pretty good. The view box even, that's what I meant. It feels pretty good. It feels pretty smooth. It doesn't feel too jittery, and it's kind of like, I would demonstrate, but it's a bit hard to do. In terms of horizontal, oops, there's kind of starts here, so kind of in the middle most of the time, I think. Yeah, we're in the middle most of the time. We just kind of has a slow sort of transition. Feels quite nice. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that bit. That's pretty smooth. In terms of the jumping and stuff, I quite like the animations. I know this maybe is going a little bit off topic, but the animations, in fact, I've never seen a square be animated quite as good as this. It feels lifelike, and definitely if you're planning on keeping the square, I could get on board with that. Or even just as a template for making a proper player or something, feels pretty good. So in terms of jumping and stuff, there's variable jumping. So if I press it, it goes to there. If I hold it, it goes up to there. Is there any in between? Yeah, there is. So there's actually a whole host of jumps. There's not just two set jumps. You can kind of vary it out quite a little bit, which is something that's quite nice to see, and in fact you do not often see it. There is like wall jumping here, and this is just personal preference here, but I think the wall jumping doesn't quite feel right. The only reason I feel it doesn't feel right is because typically with your wall jumping, what you'd do is you'd kind of come over to the wall and you'd tap to jump again. That's pretty simple. That's what we're doing now. But I'm just going to talk you through what I'm actually doing as I'm speaking now. So if I hold, I'm going to hold down right arrow from now until I say stop, and then jump, and then I'll do that again. So jump again, and I was holding the right arrow down all that time, but I still moved left. And it's something that, yeah, in fact, I don't have to hold it, I can let go of it, but this is something where I think the controls could be a little bit different. So say you come over, say I come over to the wall and I jump. Instead of just automatically jumping off the wall, you could have it so you have to press your left arrow to jump out from the wall, and depending on how long you hold it, depends how far you jump. Otherwise, we're just getting the same generic bit all the time. So yeah, that's maybe something to consider. I think that's how most games kind of work on that basis. So that might be something to think about. Other bits of controls, I think that the actual movement itself is pretty smooth. The jump height feels about right. Obviously you've created the level, so it is all kind of relative, but in terms of like horizontal and vertical speed, they feel kind of even. I can't see any problems there. This bit frustrated me a little bit in terms of a game. It's not really as in player, but I could do this bit fine, and then I get to here and I did this bit last time off video, and then here, and this is kind of sidetracking because it isn't to do with the players, but if you collide it with just the side of the spikes, I'm not going to show you because I want to see if I can finish it, but if you hit the side and not the top, then you still take damage, and that's something that I don't think is quite right. Okay, maybe this is where the thing finishes. Yeah, okay, I think we're finished here. I don't see anywhere else to go. But yeah, I'll go back and show you that actually real quick, as soon as we've kind of finished. You see there? If you walk into them, then you still take the damage. And I'm no expert, but I don't think that's how spikes work. So again, that's not really to do with the player movement, but it's something to maybe consider if you're thinking of moving this into being a real game. But in terms of player movement, it's actually pretty clean. I like it quite a lot. It's obviously had a lot of work gone into it. Very rarely see a player movement system with this much like depth to it. A lot of the time you'd be lucky to see at this stage variable jumping with 2 jumps, let alone like the whole host. And even the animations and stuff make it feel realistic. And so yeah, I think actually it's pretty well polished, and I'd probably move on to something else. Maybe just think about the wall jumping a little bit more, but that's probably about it. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there. If you like this video, remember to like, subscribe, all you guys want to do, and I'll talk to you in the next one.